evening and welcome to the Carnegie Town Hall. This meeting of the City Council will begin in a few moments. The City Council meets on the first, second, and third Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. and serves as the city's policymaking and legislative body. Each meeting is governed by Robert's Rule of Order unless those guidelines conflict with city ordinance or charter. City Council meetings offer an opportunity for citizens to speak directly to their elected representatives. Those in attendance are invited to address the Council during the public input segment at the beginning of the agenda. At that time, any issue that is not subject to formal action later in the agenda can be addressed. Testimony that concerns a resolution or an ordinance's second reading is only allowed when those specific agenda items are being addressed by the Council. When addressing the Council, citizens should speak directly into the microphones at the podium and state their names for the record after being recognized by the chair. To accommodate and respect all viewpoints, citizen comments are limited by ordinance to no more than 5 minutes each. Comments should be respectful and focused on providing new information that will benefit the Council's deliberative process. By city ordinance, all remarks must be addressed to the City Council as a body and not to any City Council member, including the mayor. The chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers. City Council meetings are broadcast live on CityLink and online at siouxfalls.org. Information regarding the City Council, its committees, meetings, briefings, and members is available by visiting siouxfalls.org/council or by calling the Council office at 605-367-8085. Thank you for your interest in Sioux Falls City Government.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. It is Tuesday, January 16th. We'll start by introducing you to your City Council.
Council members Rolfing.
Here.
Selberg.
Present.
Starr.
Here.
Staley.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Erpenbach.
Here.
Kylie.
Here.
Neitzer.
Here.
Councilors, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We do start our meetings in Sioux Falls with an invocation, and Pastor Phil Tagg is back to lead us in that invocation, that blessing, that prayer. He is with the Ransom Church here in town. Welcome back, Pastor. Good to have you here. If you wouldn't mind, please standing for that invocation, then remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Phil.
Let's pray. So, Father, you are sovereign over these proceedings. There's nothing that will happen tonight that you are not aware of, and we just ask that you would be not only aware, but that you would guide the leaders in the room by your Spirit. We ask your blessing on the people who have been called to lead this community in which we live and work and play, and we pray that you would help them as leaders not to ask for how do we fix this, but who do we need to listen to, and what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? I pray that you would remind them that when the agenda is full and the pressure is on, that they're not only leaders, but they're even more so servants who have been tasked with taking the responsibility to serve the common good of the city of Sioux Falls. And I pray that you would remind them that no matter where we live, everyone is our neighbor, and that throughout the ages, the prophets have called leaders of the people to respect and protect those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, who have no homes, the sick, the stranger, and the immigrant in our midst. I pray that you grant this council the wisdom and the courage to know and to do what's right and good and true, to speak when they should speak and to listen when they should listen, and to always be guided by your Holy Spirit. I pray this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilors, thank you, and everyone else, thank you. We do have some special guests here tonight, special recognition. We do have Cub Scout Pack 46, and not only are the Cub Scouts here, but also those that are leading, those stewards that care about these young people. They are from Peace Lutheran Church. What we'd ask you to do, stand so that we can recognize you and welcome. So glad to have you here. Thank you so much. We'll now move to our consent agenda. Council, any changes or motions?
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Selberg.
Councilor Vice Chair Erickson's made a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Selberg. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing.
Yes.
Selberg.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Staley.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Kiley. Yes. Neitzer.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Our regular agenda, Council, any changes to that?
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second.
Councilor Vice Chair Erickson's made a motion to approve our regular agenda tonight, seconded by Councilor Chair Kiley. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing.
Yes.
Selberg.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Staley.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Kiley. Yes. Neitzer.
Yes.
That is also passed 8-0. Thank you. Folks, welcome. If there's anybody here who wants to engage the council, just come forward. Give us your name, please. We'd ask you to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. And if you could just speak to the body as a whole, we'd appreciate it. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Joy Tusher, and I'm from Sioux Falls. I would like to acknowledge those in the Sioux Falls Police Department for their assistance in granting a permit for the Women's March, which is being held this Saturday, January 20th, and also for ensuring that we have police officers stationed throughout the route. I would like to take this opportunity to invite you, Mr. Mayor, and the council members, along with the community members of Sioux Falls, to join us. There will be a pre-march gathering at MB located at 300 West 11th Street from 8 to 10 a.m. The march itself will begin at 10 a.m. right here at Carnegie Town Hall and end at the Minnehaha County Courthouse. Among our speakers this year is Dr. Laura Renee Chandler, Assistant Professor of History at SDSU. Dr. Chandler lists her areas of research, expertise, and interests as African American social activism, Black transnationalism, feminist history, and America in the world. Those marching will also hear the firsthand immigration and employment challenges of Ashut Deng, when she arrived here in our community. She now represents the local United Food and Commercial Workers Union. When we reach the courthouse, Sioux Falls mayoral candidate Jolene Letcher will send our marchers home with what is sure to be an inspiring speech. Ms. Letcher is the founder of Jolene's Task Force and is also a small business owner. Our march route, as established by the Sioux Falls Police Department in cooperation with Minnehaha County, will be the Eastern Dakota Avenue sidewalks and the adjacent parking lanes. There is also an after-march event at the Icon Lounge hosted by LEAD. Women, our partners, and children will be marching in solidarity with each other and with those marching across the country in recognition that vibrant and diverse communities are the strength of our nation. When women and like-minded people pound the pavement, change follows. This year's march is intended as a celebration of accomplishments achieved over the last year and as a call to action over concerns ranging from ending sex trafficking, racial profiling, discrimination based on color, disability, sexual orientation, religion, and immigration status. Also, access to health care, including birth control and maternity care, along with affordable insurance coverage and expanding family leave, voting rights, equal pay, along with equal representation of people of color and of women in state and local government. Of special concern is Medicaid expansion. It is estimated that approximately 50,000 South Dakotans qualify and would benefit from it. Many of these citizens have no options for health coverage. This year's march will land on the anniversary of the inauguration of President Trump. However, this event will be aimed at advancing the missions of the more than 15 co-sponsoring organizations, as well as the policy agendas of individual marchers. These co-sponsors include Common Grounds, Indivisible, 605 Indivisible, Planned Parenthood of North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota, Girl Trek, the Sioux Falls Center for Equality, and Spirit of Peace Church. The organizer of Sioux Falls Girl Trek, Taylor Newcomb, says her group is marching to continue the legacy of Black women walking for change, as well as to celebrate all that we have accomplished politically over the last year. Girl Trek is the largest health, nonprofit, and health movement dedicated to African American women and girls. In honor of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I will end with this quote. Somewhere I read the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of the press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for our rights. We are confident our mission for a large, peaceful, and meaningful march will act as a change agent, not only in our community, but in the world. God bless every veteran who ever served for my right to stand here and speak. Your consideration of my invitation for you to join the Women's March empowers us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very good. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Welcome.
Tim Stanga. Watched the 4 o'clock meeting at home. There's a few things that everybody's sort of missing on this whole thing. It all comes down to trust. Everybody talks about whether some report was done right or report was written wrong or coerced or anything. It all comes down to trust. Whether we trust the executive branch or we trust city councilors to get us the right information. One thing I learned out of the report, well, 2 months ago I came up here and I told exactly what the report was going to say. But he came up with a couple other things. The building is fine, I said that. It all comes down to the siding. When you put something straight and you try to curve it, this is what happens. Why wasn't it pre-bent when we put it on? Where was the oversight when we started putting this siding on and we got up about 5, 6 rows and we seen that something wasn't going right? Where was the oversight? I guess if we want to learn from different, how you want to say it, when we build things and we go manager at risk, we have to learn. We have to figure out what we did wrong on this project, get this project a little bit better. But the problem is we seen this siding going on wrong, but we kept going with it. I think we got about $30,000 invested in this now to come out and find out that, yep, we should have put the siding on pre-bent. What is the difference between pre-bent siding and a straight piece of siding? What would it cost the citizens of Sioux Falls to get it pre-bent versus having a straight piece of siding? That's one question that I'd like to have answered. 2, who authorized? Knowing that that siding was wrong to begin with, and as it was being put up, who authorized to keep going on that siding? Because it all comes down to trust. It all comes down to telling the truth. If the city, how do you want to say it, said, go ahead and put it on, then just come out and say, we screwed up. We told them to keep going with it, not realizing what it was going to look like in the end. But not one person that I talked to has any problems if the siding's leaking. The problem is the looks of the building. You know, we were told that $119 million was going to give us an emerald, something that we could stand up with. And right now, it's not impressive. And I just want to be able to get down to the truth, down to realizing why we kept putting that siding on and why we didn't get it pre-bent as we seen that it was being put on wrong. Thank you.
Folks, anybody else? Very good. Item number 16.
I am Stephen Ciano. I am here in Sioux Falls at present. I'm not originally from here. but since I've been here, I have been trying to get my needs met and been run up against the wall every step of the way. Now, part of it could be misunderstanding. Take my purple hat, for instance. I had somebody on the bus yesterday think that I was a Vikings fan. I don't follow football or any other team sport. It's not my way. I'm not that sort of person. That's okay. If you want to be into sports and religion and whatever, so be it. Fine. But that doesn't mean that that's my way. But I have just sent this body a series of emails, and I am awaiting response. That's been in the past several days. I am trying to get certain points across, and one of which is, as in reference to something that happened yesterday, I barely made it back inside alive. This is my reality day to day. I never know when my legs are going to give out. It was cold. I almost did not make it. I could be dead now. And this is because of the city's people refusing to have oversight and accountability of city employees as well as private employees involved in an attack on me. Much of it is done surreptitiously. Last time I spoke to you, I was having much more difficulty breathing than I am now. So you can see the difference. It does happen. That is one of my physical issues on top of the mental. And people have, as I've said to you, fabricated a diagnosis of delusional disorder of sudden onset in 2004 in response to my proving PTSD wrongly denied since '78. This is a criminal act. And then when they added incompetent due to delusional disorder in response to further verification as to the actual condition since '78 wrongly denied, confirmed even by the VA's own psychiatrist, Dr. Renner. Check with him. Go ahead, do the checking. Then I was falsely, fraudulently declared incompetent, and to my knowledge, as was reported to me, based on that, they declared a custodial person to be appointed and sent reportedly over $300,000, whereas under such pretense, I was denied any of it. I was denied for years. And here I was, if I didn't have somebody to move into, to rent an apartment from, knowing I was a very honest person, I could be trusted to pay her, which turned out to be $25,000 that, went after a few years, what I owed her, then I would be dead. Another thing is I've been trying to get Falls Community Health, knowing what's going on, because they have the documentation, to be pushing for the VA to pay for my medical bills so that I could get my medical needs met and I won't be among the dead victims of this system of no oversight and accountability. Thank you.
Item 16, new 2017-18 retail malt beverage license for Josiah's Limited Partnership, Josiah's Coffee House and Cafe, 104 West 12th Street, cup not required, pending final inspections per Fire, Health, and Building Services. 17, new 2018 retail wine license for Josiah's Limited Partnership, Josiah's Coffee House and Cafe, 104 West 12th Street, cup not required, pending final inspections per Fire, Health, and Building Services. Special one-day liquor license for Westward Ho Country Club Incorporated, the Country Club of Sioux Falls, to be operated at 316 South Phillips Avenue for a Parent Advocates for Spanish Immersion fundraiser on January 27, 2018. 19, special one-day wine license for Butterfly House and Aquarium to be operated at 4320 South Oxbow Avenue for a fundraiser on February 1st, 2018. Item 20, special one-day liquor license for Philanthropy Promotions Incorporated to be operated at 2101 West Burnside for a Pheasant Fest vendor reception on February 15, 2018.
Good evening, Jamie Palmer with licensing.
Hi, Jamie.
16 and 17 are new beer and wine license requests for a new location of Josiah's, and items 18 through 20 are special one-day requests that meet the state law requirements.
Thank you, Jamie. Council, any questions?
Move approval, Rolfing.
Second, Erpenbach.
Councilor Rolfing has made a motion to approve these items, seconded by Councilor Erpenbach. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing,
Yes.
Selberg,
Yes.
Starr,
Yes.
Staley,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Neitzer.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you, Council. Item 21.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 21. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located at 1108, 1116, and 1120 East 6th Street from the RT1 Single Family Residential, Traditional, and RT2 Townhome Residential, Traditional District to the C2 Commercial, Neighborhood, and Streetcar District. Petition number 7732-2017 and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 7-0.
Jason, good evening.
Jason Bieber, representing Planning and Building Services. This is an application by the City of Sioux Falls Planning Office. It is located at the northwest corner of East 6th Street and North Cliff Avenue. It's about 0.37 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is the St. Vincent de Paul Church is looking at constructing an accessory parking lot. Then the City of Sioux Falls Public Works Department will obtain some additional right-of-way, and right turn lane onto 6th Street will be constructed.
Jason, thank you. Council, any questions of Jason? Councilor Staley?
Jason, now the people who own that property, weren't they like rental properties?
Yeah, most of them were dilapidated houses that were raised.
So did the owner or did they do that, or I'm just wondering what led up to that?
I think the St. Vincent de Paul Church acquired those properties, and then the city, in conjunction with the city, we were working with them on obtaining some of the right-of-way for a right turn lane.
Okay, thank you.
Council, would anybody want to set a date of hearing, second reading for Monday, February 5th for this item? Thank you, Council Chair.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing,
Yes.
Selberg,
Yes.
Starr,
Yes.
Staley,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Kylie, Neitzer.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Council, item 22, please.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 22. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located at 6161 South Mogan Avenue from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District to the O Office District, petition number 7756-2017, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 7-0.
The applicant and owner here is Alan Bixler with the Crosswalk Community Church. It is located on the south side of 69th Street, just southeast of the Avera Heart Hospital. It's about 5 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is the Crosswalk Church is looking at constructing this accessory parking lot as part of their church, and then the west half of that lot will be reserved for a future church addition. They will be required to do that level B buffer yard, which is a 15-foot setback, a 4-foot fence, and 30 units of landscaping adjacent to those single-family houses to the south.
Jason, thank you. Councilors?
Move to set second reading for February 5th at 7 p.m.
Second, Selberg.
Thank you, Councilor Rolfing. Thank you, Councilor Selberg. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing,
Yes.
Selberg,
Yes.
Starr,
Yes.
Staley,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Neitzer.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 23.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 23. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota rezoning property located at 605 and 607 South Duluth Avenue from the RT1 Single Family Residential Traditional District to the RT2 Townhome Residential Traditional District, petition number 7758-2017, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 7-0.
The applicant and owner here is Jeff Schneckloff. It's about 0.11 acres in size. As you can see by the aerial currently on the property, there is an existing duplex. The purpose of this rezoning is we are looking at getting the existing use, that duplex use, to match the zoning for the property.
Very good. Councilors? Anybody want to set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th for this item?
So moved. Second.
Councilor Rolfing's done that, seconded by Councilor Chair Kiley. Councilor Ermbach.
Just clarify, it's just a correction, really. We're not making any changes to the way that he's going to use this property. We're just correcting that this is what he really does use it for.
Correct. The proposed zoning district would allow him to keep the duplex. If he would add additional units, that's when we'd go back in and make sure he meets all the parking and building code and different things like that.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Council, thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 24.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 24. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located south of East 45th Street and east of South Outfield Avenue from the AG Agriculture District to the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District. Petition number 7817-2017 and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 7-0.
The applicant and owner here is Gary Haar. It is located south of East 45th Street and east of South Outfield Avenue. It's roughly 1 acre in size. The purpose of this was the old farmstead for this whole area. They're looking at rezoning that to single family and then construct a single family residential development within the area.
Thank you, Jason. Council?
Question?
Yes, Councilor Rolfing.
What's the rest of the property zoned around there?
It's all single family.
It
And then
is,
to the
okay.
north, you'll get into some twin homes and stuff as you get up to 41st Street.
Understand.
but-
I would move for second hearing or second reading on Monday, February 5th.
Second, Neitzer.
Thank you, Councilor Rolfing. Councilor Neitzer, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 25.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 25. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located at the southeast corner of East 69th Street and South Bonson Avenue from the AG Agriculture District to the RS Single Family Residential Suburban, RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban, and O Office Districts. Petition number 7855-2017 and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 6-0.
The applicant and owner here is Doug Allen. It is located just south of the new Harrisburg Horizon Elementary School. It's roughly 37.11 acres in size. The purpose of this rezoning is the applicant is looking at constructing some office uses adjacent to 69th Street and then some twin homes to the south of that, and then continuing to construct some single-family residential to the south of that.
That'll be great. Thank you, Jason. Councilors, would anybody want to set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th?
So moved.
Thank you, Council Chair.
Second?
Councilor Rolfing, thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 26.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 26. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located at 209 South Jefferson Avenue from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District to the RT1 Single Family Residential Traditional District. Petition number 7872-2017 and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval 7-0.
The applicant and owner here is Derek Wuchnick. It's at 209 South Jefferson Avenue. It's 0.13 acres in size. Currently, there's a small single-family home on the lot. The purpose of this rezoning is the applicant is looking at raising that existing house and then constructing a new single-family home. However, the lot is less than that 50-foot wide, so we need to rezone to the RT1.
Jason, thank you. Councilors?
Move to set the date of hearing for February 5th.
Second, Selberg.
Councilor Box made that motion. Set the date of hearing. Seconded by Councilor Selberg. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 27, please.
Set a date of hearing and second reading for Monday, February 13, 2018 at 7 p.m. for item 27. An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by amending Chapter 32, City Organizations, Subchapter Charter Revision Commission, establishing the votes necessary to approve a Charter Revision Commission report.
Councilor Erickson, or Councilor Neitzer, my apologies.
Thank you very much. As I was attending the Charter Revision Commission meetings this year, I couldn't help but notice that the number of votes required to put something on the ballot is not codified anywhere. It's simply a matter of the commission deciding how many votes it should take. Something as important as putting an item on the ballot that could amend our city charter, which is our constitution, should not be so informal. It should be codified and certain. The ordinance does set forth that there's 5 members on the board. As a matter of tradition, they have decided to require 4 of 5 votes to put something on the ballot. However, that isn't a given. At the beginning of every Charter Revision Commission, they essentially come to a consensus. They could choose 3, they could choose 5. It's really up to them. In keeping with the current practice and the recommendation of the former city attorney, I'm going to propose that we fix the required number of votes to put something on the ballot through the Charter Revision Commission at 4 or 5 votes. This would constitute a supermajority. Something should not be on the ballot unless it has a reasonable consensus, and 4 of 5 votes will do that. Something that can only get 3 of 5 votes to even get on the ballot probably shouldn't be. We are amending our Constitution, and that's serious business. Keep in mind, this does not change how the Commission has operated in the past. It doesn't make it any harder than it already is. It just fixes it in ordinance so that it cannot be changed on the whim of a future Commission. And I will move to set a second reading for Monday, February 13, 2018.
Second, Erickson.
There's been a motion to set the date of hearing by Councilor Neisert, second by Councilor Erickson. Councilor Buck.
Just one note, February 13th is not a Monday, it's a Tuesday, so just for the record.
It is a Tuesday, February 13th.
It says Monday on the.
Yeah, it says
Oh,
Monday,
it's
I'm sorry.
Tuesday.
I'll
Yeah.
change my
Tuesday.
motion to Tuesday.
Thank you, thank you. And Councilor Erickson, you're fine with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for the correction.
Councilor Starr.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Councilor Neisert has really brought an important thing. I was at the similar meeting and was surprised about the discussion of how they set their ground rules, and something I agree that it's something to put that we should discuss and give them the policy direction of where they should go. I'd encourage you to vote for second reading, and I think we can have a discussion. One of the things with Roberts is I philosophically disagree with sometimes, not Roberts, but maybe this, the need for a supermajority, and we'll probably have that discussion as part of second reading of whether it should be 3 or 4, and whether 3 is enough to really bring something forward to allow people to do that. So I may offer an amendment, but I definitely want to encourage second reading and allow us to have a good public discussion of how we put those things into place, whether it is 3 or 4 of the group. So I'd encourage you to vote for second reading.
Councilor Staley.
And I guess I was going to ask Tom Greco if he could do a little research on this. If it's always been if it plays out as a supermajority, as they've put things on the ballot, and just to remind the citizens that if they do vote for this, they're not voting for it, they're voting to allow the citizens to vote for it. So passing it through does that. And the other thing I'm interested in knowing, in the past, well, I'll say since this form of government, I'd like to know how many times a citizen, and I'm not talking about a council member or the city attorney, but how many times a citizen petitioned issue has been approved by the Charter Revision Commission. Perhaps you could break that down as to who, I know Attorney or City Attorney Fifley brought some things forward a few years ago, and so just the nature of who was bringing these things forward, and then also how many people loosely were voting for that. And I will say I know 4 of us tried to get something on the ballot this year, and I found we all got knocked down. So I wouldn't say that this group is by any way, shape, or form loose or being promiscuous about pushing things through for the citizens to vote on. But anyway, some added information would be great. Thank you.
Councilor Erickson.
Councilor Neisert can comment on the information. I know he's been working with Tom already to get that, and he does have it back to a certain date, but this does not send it to the ballot. This is simply an ordinance, so this isn't allowing the citizens to vote on this. This is giving direction to the commission, the charter revision, so this sets it in ordinance. Already an ordinance is saying that this commission of 5 meets, and so this ordinance then also gives them the direction on top of that to say you need 4 or 5, practice they've already been doing. It's just a matter of putting that expectation into ordinance so we all know the expectations, or the citizens know the expectations, and they as a board know going into it what that expectation is, instead of their first meeting going, I don't know, should we have 3? Should we have 4? I mean, it's not that laid back, but it's just in a manner of, we should govern that and provide that. And I have reached out to the charter revision folks so they know that this was coming forward. I didn't necessarily ask for their support because that's this body's decision, but I did make sure that they were aware that this was going to be on the agenda as a courtesy to say, hey, what do you think, just in general about it. So I know Councilor Neitzer has
Councilor
more.
Neitzer.
Thank you. I did go back as far as I could with the minutes, and it was to the mid-2000s, and they'd always required 4. I did ask the city clerks to take a look at it, and they are getting me that information to go back to when this form of government started. Has it ever not been 4? So we have that. So we have that in front of us, and so we can look. And that's really kind of where I came to is a couple of things. Once again, amending a constitution is serious business. It shouldn't be easy. Even to get something on the ballot shouldn't be easy. This is a very, very serious matter when you're talking about that. And it just seemed bizarre to me that a board, particularly one with such a solemn responsibility, could essentially choose the ground rules every time and that it could possibly move. And that's not saying anything against any previous commission. It's a philosophical issue.
Very good. A roll call vote, please.
Chair?
Councilor Staley?
Thank you. Just for clarification, Councilor Erickson, I wasn't saying we are going to put it on the ballot, but this action we're taking is going to be affecting their putting it on the ballot. They will need to have 4 of 5 to put it on the ballot. And it sounds to me like there was a possibility that they could have had 3 out of the 5. So if that has never happened, or I mean, I guess, I think this is going to be interesting to see if it's ever happened, or apparently it could be 2 out. I don't know how this is going to play out. But anyway, just for clarification, this is giving them instructions as to their threshold to put it on the ballot. Councilor Neitzer is agreeing with me. Thank you.
A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kylie? Yes. Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 28, please.
A resolution advising and giving consent to the appointment of members to certain citizen boards, those being Jay Buchholz, Infrastructure Review Advisory Board, and Pat Reagan, Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Very good.
Move to approve,
Thank you,
Neitzer.
Councilor Neitzer.
Second, Erickson.
Thank you, Councilor Vice Chair Erickson.
I was just,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Is
are
Jay or
either of
Pat?
these individuals here?
Are Jay and Pat in the room? Very good. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Rolfing?
Yes.
Selberg?
Yes.
Starr?
Yes.
Staley?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Kylie? Yes. Neitzer?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you. Again, Cub Scouts, welcome. It's good to have you here. This was a shorter meeting than normal lately, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're very glad to have you here. Again, we wish you the best. Don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. A little round of applause for them. Very good. Now, these counselors have been working all day, Cub Scouts. Would anybody want to go home? Councilor Vice Chair Erickson says yes. Councilor Chair Kylie says yes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Sioux Falls. Make it a great night.